Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. For all my life, my sister and I have been great friends. When I was 3 years old and my sister was 5, my sister and I played a game called Switchy. I pretended to be a girl and my sister pretended to be a boy. At first, the only thing we could do in the game was choose a boy or girl and change our names and titles. As time went on, though, the game changed to cross-dressing, makeup, and acting like our parents to the point where my parents thought it was a bit much. Besides, I couldn't stand how often the kids in the area bullied me. There was still a strong desire inside me, even though the game was over. It was always there inside me, even though I didn't say it out loud. I used to watch TV shows when there were characters who dressed as other people. The same was true for magazine stories and other forms of entertainment. It interested me a lot about the cross-dressers, but I didn't want to talk about them. Things didn't really happen until my sister got older. After that, things changed for me. There was a change in her body and height. She began to look a lot more like an adult. She also became interested in fashion, and she didn't think she looked bad when she was all dressed up. There were no longer any Barbies in her room. Instead, she used lipstick, mascara, a makeup kit, pretty dresses, nylons and bras, sunscreen, jewelry, and many other things that I never played with as a kid. These things came into her life without my knowledge, though, and they were kept from me. This always interested me. Her new things were completely her own, and I wasn't even told they were in her room. I knew what they were, but I hadn't seen them since the game I played as a kid. That made me even more interested. Also, she let me into her room less and less, so I had fewer chances to explore and find things. There was no one home when I was watching TV one day, and I came across a movie where the main character dresses as a woman. The movie did a great job of showing the cross-dressing part. Since no one was home, I wanted to check out my all these female things, and the movie made me especially interested in doing so. My hands were shaking because I was scared and excited at the same time. My legs were shaking. I got a pretty pink party dress set with a top, a skirt, a tight coat, and 2-inch heels that matched. I also got a pair of black nylons. I woke up a force inside me that had been sleeping for a long time. I began to remember the game from our childhood, so I put on all the clothes I just grabbed. Then I looked in the mirror and saw myself. There was a problem. The body's curves and measurements didn't match the clothes, so I chose to improve the way my body looks. So I took everything off again. So I went back to the closet, this time with shaking hands and legs. I found a white bra and pants set with embroidery there. It was a nice, padded bra. It took some courage for me to pick up the bra. I had never worn a bra before. I wasn't sure if I should wear it or not. Finally, I chose to take another step because I had already come this far. Then I put on the bra and underwear almost automatically. I looked in the mirror at myself. It looked like I was shocked to see myself in the mirror. With the help of a tie, I pulled it backwards to hide it. It was tough to tie it backwards, and it was even tougher to walk with him that way. He had to bend over and stay in a slightly feminine position, though, so I could look a little good. After that, I put on the white shirt. After that, I knelt down and pulled my nylons up. Since I didn't have any body hair before, the nylons looked and felt good on me. After that, I raised my skirt. The coat that fit so well didn't fit so well on me. I put on the heels and stood in front of the mirror with my hands shaking to look at my body. It wasn't great, but for a girl it was fine. But my face wasn't. My face was a bit oval with a short nose, sparse eyebrows, long, beautiful eyelashes, and a feminine pattern of hair on my head. My hair was short and my lips were a bit big. I was interested in the vanity set I saw in the bedroom. So I started with foundation, powder, a little lipstick because my hands were shaking, mascara, blush, earrings, the kind that clasp, jewelry, and nail polish. Then I put on my thus stylish hat to cover my shaved head. After that, I showed up in front of the mirror. How did I seem? It would have been easy for me to believe that the cutest girl ever, or that all the guys in school would choose me as their prom date if it were a fancy dream story. In reality, I didn't look good, though, because it's true. It was my first time doing makeup, which is hard. Anyway, I was happy because I had found out my feminine secret, and I was pleased. I was so pleased that I left my room and began to walk around the house. As I moved, the sound of the shoes and bangles made me feel good. I went downstairs to the living room and crossed my legs while I watched TV. I felt great. I had never felt that kind of joy before. The girl in me was very happy at that time. I had an idea all of a sudden. I would order pizza to be brought to my house and watch how the pizza delivery person talked to me. The idea seemed a little risky at first, but since I didn't have anything else to do, the thought kept coming back to me. I finally picked up the phone. Even though my heart was racing, I placed the order in the name of Katie, using the most feminine tone of voice I could muster. I don't think it was very accurate, but I was living in the moment. They asked where I was, so I hung up. I felt scared. Then the girl took over and I called them again to say I was sorry for the unintentional interruption and to let them know where I was. My heart began to beat very quickly and I felt short of breath. My mind began to work again after a short break. I chose the pizza as my old self because I thought I could change back. I took off my coat, shirt, and skirt when I got upstairs. I was so scared that I threw the cap into the closet. I was standing in front of my desk with all the female attire. The doorbell rang just as I was taking off my makeup. The guy must have been stupid because he kept ringing the bell after I answered it. I began to worry. In a last-ditch effort, I grabbed a purse, put on a nightgown, and wrapped a towel around my head like my hair was wet. I ran as fast as I could to the door. I got so mad at the bell ringing all the time that I opened the door and yelled at the guy. It dawned on me that the guy was about twice my size and very angry. I thought I was stuck, but the guy looked into my eyes and then said, "I'm sorry." He kept his eyes on the ground. I told him it was okay to go. The man got into his van and looked lost. I felt bad about what I did and told him, "Okay, buddy, I reacted too much. Don't leave with such a sad face." He smiled and said, "Have a nice day, cutie." Feeling a strange mix of emotions, I closed the door, my heart still racing from the interaction with the pizza delivery guy. His words, "Have a nice day, cutie," echoed in my mind, stirring a mix of fear and exhilaration inside me. I retreated to the living room, my steps slow and thoughtful. I placed the pizza box on the coffee table, but my appetite was gone, overtaken by the overwhelming thoughts circling in my head. I plopped down on the sofa, the baggy nightgown pooling around me. My fingers nervously played with the towel wrapped around my hair, the fabric soft under my fingertips. The realization hit me. There was an unexplored, hidden part of me that I had buried deep inside for so long. A part of me that wanted to wear dresses, put on makeup, and be seen as cute. A part that felt strangely comfortable and terrifyingly vulnerable at the same time. As the days went by, I found myself exploring more and more. I began researching online, trying to understand the feelings bubbling up inside me. I read stories of others who felt the same, those who struggled with their identity, and those who had found peace in being their true selves. My sister began noticing small changes in me. Perhaps it was the subtle lingering of eyeliner I hadn't quite removed, or the way I moved slightly differently. One day, as I was quietly sitting in my room, she knocked on the door, her voice gentle and laced with concern. "Is everything okay?" I froze. My heart suddenly lodged in my throat. My hands, which had been calmly folding a stolen blouse of hers, now shook visibly. As my sister entered the room, her eyes took in the scene. Me, surrounded by clothes clearly too feminine to be mine. A look of stark fear painted across my face. She didn't say a word. Instead, she crossed the room, sat beside me, and gently placed a comforting hand over my trembling one. I expected anger, accusations, or at least disappointment, but none of those emotions flickered across her face. Instead, she looked at me with an unspoken understanding, her eyes soft and accepting. A lump formed in my throat, tears blurring my vision. She whispered, her voice soothing and warm. "I've seen it, you know. The way you look at my dresses, the subtle changes in your behavior and the leftover makeup traces sometimes. I didn't say anything because I wanted you to come to me when you were ready. I swallowed hard, struggling to find my voice. I'm scared, I whispered, the truth tumbling from my lips as tears streaked down my cheeks. My sister gently squeezed my hand, offering me a comforting smile. I can't pretend to understand everything you're going through, but I want you to know that I'm here for you no matter what. I leaned into her, allowing myself to be enveloped in a warm, supportive hug. For the first time, I felt seen, truly seen, and it was both terrifying and liberating. After a long pause, my sister gently pulled back, looking at me with a gentle resolve. "If you want," she began tentatively, "I could help you try things out. We could do a proper makeover, try on clothes, and just see how you feel. No pressure, no expectations, just explore." I nodded, relief flooding through me along with a new, cautious sense of excitement. So that's what we did. Weekends became our secret exploratory missions, filled with makeup tutorials, dress-up sessions, and even some playful photo shoots. My sister taught me everything she knew about fashion, makeup, and even how to walk in heels without tripping over my own feet. It was during these moments, dressed in clothes that felt right, makeup applied with a careful, loving hand, that I began to understand myself more. My sister was my ally in this confusing, often terrifying journey, and with her by my side, I started to see a future where I could be happy, could be me. My sister and I grew even closer during this time, our bond strengthening with each shared secret and whispered fear. I learned to embrace the girl inside me, to accept that this was a part of who I was, and that it was perfectly okay. Of course, I knew that the path ahead would not be without its challenges, but having my sister by my side, understanding and accepting me without reservations, gave me the strength to face whatever lay ahead. One evening, as I admired my reflection, the soft curves created by the padding, the gentle sweep of eyeliner, and the way the dress hugged my body, I realized that I was ready to explore the next steps. As time went on, these moments of sisterly collaboration became more frequent and diversified. I helped her with outfits, and she, in return, provided a sympathetic ear to my own struggles and anxieties, always mindful, always supportive. Eventually, my path of self-discovery took a more public turn. Slowly, cautiously, I began to introduce my true self to the world. With my sister by my side, I found the strength to openly wear the clothes that I wanted, to present myself in a way that felt genuine and authentic to my identity. In a beautiful twist of fate, my sister and I realized we were the same size, leading to shared wardrobes and, on more than one occasion, amusing mix-ups of ownership of particular items of clothing. We laughed, borrowed, swapped, and sometimes reluctantly returned pieces to each other. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.